my name is Rachel Smith. Today's date is August 4th. My password is popcorn, and there is my audience. I was 18 when I adopted my dog Bennett. For weeks, I scoured every local shelter I could find, searching high and low for the perfect dog. Finally, I stumbled upon the Maricopa County Animal Control and Care Center, a government-run shelter packed to the brim with cats and dogs. In the back of one of the first cages I looked at was a defeated and anxious-looking cinnamon-colored dog. He was small and timid, and another dog was even chewing on his leg. The minute we locked eyes, I knew this was my dog. Bennett was only one of 36,047 animals to end up in the county shelter in 2015, and unfortunately, not all of them were as lucky as Bennett. Maricopa's shelter isn't the only one taking in more animals than they can rehome. Shelters all across the country take in more animals than they can handle. You may wonder, why are there so many dogs and cats without homes? Everyone seems to love animals. Unfortunately, many people don't spay and neuter their animals, resulting in puppies and kittens that they don't want. Other times, people only want purebred dogs, leaving the dogs in the shelters waiting for families who never come. Where do these dogs go? Maricopa County alone euthanized 8,324 animals in 2015. How can we prevent this? Let me suggest a few ways. First and foremost, owning an animal is a huge responsibility. Animals are costly to take care of. You have to pay for their food, their initial spay and neuter surgery, having them microchipped, and their vet bills. Many of the dogs who end up in the shelter are taken there because their owners can no longer afford to take care of their medical issues. Make sure that you're thinking ahead financially and that you're certain that you can afford this dog, even if it gets any health issues. Usually, animals are at least a 12-year commitment. Take some time to think ahead and see where you see yourself in about 12 to 15 years. Make sure that this animal fits in your life. Otherwise, you could end up taking it to the shelter and having it never get out. If you are not breeding your dogs intentionally, it is responsible to spay and neuter them. Neutering male dogs can even make them less aggressive and territorial, and a little bit more snuggly for you. So now you've decided that you can take care of a pet. Where are you going to find it? It's important to adopt rather than shopping. Animals in the rescues have seen the worst and are so grateful and loving to have somebody who will care for them. Many rescues will even provide the starter shots and the spaying or neutering of the animal in the adoption fee. Generally, adoption fees are even less than breeders charge for their purebred dogs. Overall, adopting a dog is much cheaper than purchasing one. Make sure that you do your research on what kind of animal you'd like. All dogs and cat breeds have different behaviors and needs. Make sure that the one you get fits into your lifestyle. A lot of people seem to think that dogs in rescues, and especially the older ones, cannot be trained. However, this is not true. Once you show an animal that you are its master by asserting just a little bit of dominance, it will respect you as such. You may have to take your animal to an obedience class with a professional trainer, but you definitely can teach an old dog new tricks. So maybe you've decided that you can't take care of an animal, but you would still like to help out. There are so many opportunities to volunteer. All shelters are pretty much overrun with animals, but definitely need the help. Stop into your local one and see if you can lend a hand. If you don't have any time to spend, shelters are always accepting donations. You can donate money, food, bedding, and animal toys, and all are so appreciated. There are far too many animals across the country who spend so much of their life in a shelter, only to be euthanized at the end. Luckily, there is so much everyone can do. We always say dogs are a man's best friend, but they don't always get treated that way. People are often irresponsible with their pets, leading to overbreeding and ultimately unnecessary death. The solution is simple. Take care of your pets, adopt, don't shop, and help out when you can. Owning a dog or a cat is a huge responsibility, but it is so completely worth it. If you don't have the time or means to own an animal, stop by your local shelter where you can lend a hand. I spent a long time working with a group who networks the dogs that are on the euthanasia list. It felt so good to know that I helped so many animals find good homes rather than being put down. Adopting my own dogs has been the most rewarding thing I could have done, and they are the best dogs I could imagine. Once you adopt, I am certain you will never shop again, and you will feel the exact same way. So please, if you're thinking of getting a pet, adopt, don't shop, take decent, responsible care of it, and if you can, volunteer. It is so important to love these animals the way that they have always loved us.